I would like you, on your devices, to pull up the last thing that we were working on together. And you may remember, last time I was here in the room, what was it we were looking at? What were we looking at? We were looking at a spreadsheet. What kind of spreadsheet were we looking at? Fantastic. Profit and loss, and we were hoping not to have any loss, right? But how much we were going to charge for each of the items, and therefore how much profit we were going to expect. And we generated that spreadsheet. I'd like you to pull it open now. Get it open. Which is that everything you were doing in creating those spreadsheets was what we call projecting. You were projecting, right? Let's go to this. What we were doing was we were working out projected profits. How much were we anticipating that we would receive? And you guys did a lot of work experimenting, looking for different prices, trying to maximize your profit margin, okay? But it was all just guesswork. It was all guesswork, okay? Now, the Athletics Carnival has come and gone, and so we don't need to do guesswork anymore. We have some actual figures. So, I'm about to unveil for you what were the actual numbers from the Athletics Carnival and the spreadsheet that really reflects reality. So, eyes up, are you ready? I'm going to show it to you in all its glorious detail, the spreadsheet that Ms. Bleakley's put together. Okay, now, you can't see everything there. I need to scroll down a little bit to see what's going on, but this should look familiar. This should look familiar. This has the same kind of structure that we had. Perhaps the columns are ever so slightly different, but the important thing about this is historical. This is not projected, okay? So let's start with the commonalities. You got all the items down the left-hand side here. We were doing this as well, right? We were looking at cost price, and then we had some research. We went and looked at worst.com.au, etc. We thought about what prices would be suitable, and then this part here, amount purchased. There was loads of guesswork involved here. We were trying, everyone had wildly different estimations on how many donuts people would eat, how many sausage sizzles, etc. We didn't know. We did a projected set of numbers, right, which is what you guys did. Here's what actually happened. But what if it had happened differently? Could we call this the bottom line. Could we make the bottom line any better than what it was? Okay, so the heading I'd like you to make, and wherever you're taking your notes on this is kind of like a retrospective lesson that we're learning. I alluded to this the last time I was in the room, but I needed this data to actually talk about it. The heading I'd like you to make is optimum pricing. Say that again. No, wherever you want to take notes, really, on the stuff that you've been learning from Miss Bleakley, under design, all that kind of thing. This really is a design constraint, isn't it? Right? Money is a design constraint. In fact, often, money is the design constraint. Okay, so that's what we're working with. Now, in order to help you understand how to get an optimum pricing point, right? Like, how much should I charge for this? High enough that I'm making some profit, but low enough that lots of people will actually come and buy, okay? To illustrate this, I'm actually going to do an experiment with you, alright? Now, in some senses, the questions are quite self-explanatory, but I want to help you understand them a little more, okay? So here's a pizza, okay? I thought long and hard about what object I would choose to pick. Okay, now like I said, do you remember I asked you, you'll need to do this individually, and that actually means not affecting the opinion of those around you.
Damn it, Lisa.
Really going to matter.
I'm sorry, it's a great pizza.
Here's a pizza. Shh. Think about it. The 4 questions I'm going to ask you are all to do with price points, okay? Now, for the purposes of the analysis we're going to do in about 10 minutes when we're done here, when you put some numbers in here, don't put a dollar sign on there, just put a number. It's okay if you're not, you shouldn't have done it yet, okay? So you might just put 4 for $4, okay? The 4 questions I'm asking you are, number 1, they sort of go in ascending order. What price for this pizza would be so low that you'd think, I think something's wrong with this pizza? Okay. Alright, so I would assume that this number is quite low. To give you a bit of an analogy to this, I don't know if any of you guys have been at the local shops when they do Cheaper Chicken Tuesday.
No,
anyone seen that?
Sir.
Okay.
Mondays now.
Cheaper Chicken Monday just doesn't roll off the... Anyway.
We used to do it every Tuesday.
Cheaper Chicken Tuesday, okay? The way it works is, pizzas have been out for a while. Chickens have been out for a while, right? And they want to sell these faster, much like we were doing with the sausage sizzles, right? So they reduce them from, I think, like, what? $12 is the normal price.
Yeah, they
right?
make it $8.
And they'll make it 8, and if they've been out since like 2 p.m., this is like at 6 or 7 p.m. in the evening now, they won't just reduce it to 8, they'll reduce it to $4 for a whole chicken. Okay? Now, I don't know about you, there's a big enough group here that we're all going to differ, but that number is so low that I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to buy this chicken. You can...
Are these talking about the ones where they like cook them and then they cook them out? Like these ones?
Yeah, they've been out there for
They
maybe...
write the times on the side. I went
That's
to
right. That's right. So if they've been out there for like hours and hours and hours, right? It's like, I don't know. I don't really want to get food poisoning from this kind of thing.
Yeah, we bought a chicken once from there. We brought it home and opened it, and there was a fly in there.
Yeah, not
Fly
cool.
eggs.
Not cool. So I hopefully you understand that at some point you're thinking,
We ate it. No, I'm joking.
no, this isn't just cheap and it's good. This is cheap and they're just trying to get rid of it.
And just like,
So that I see would be a very low number. Moving up, below the pizza you'll see, what price will be low enough so you think, hey, I think this is a bargain. Like, this is actually good value for this pizza, okay? I'm interested in buying it. I don't think it's so cheap that it's dodgy. That number will be high. As you go further, as the prices rise, boys, do you remember there were 2 things I asked you to do? Do you remember what they were? That was neither of them. What was the first thing? What was the first thing? All of you. It's not like 2 minutes ago. Can someone help me? Yeah, thank you. Number 1, individual. Number 2, someone help us out. Take it seriously. Thank you. You are doing neither of those. Let's try harder. Question 3. At some point, and I would suggest to you to stop thinking about chickens and pizza for a second, but think about things like, say, this. Okay? Now, these are expensive black rectangles, right? They are deliberately expensive so that we will view them as, whoa, that's really good quality, right? They're making us pay a lot because it's really worth it, okay? So there's some price where it gets high enough where you think, ooh, this is premium, right? Which I assume will be higher. Last question, there's a price where you think, it's not just high and it's premium. It's high and it's ridiculous. I don't care how good this pizza is, how good this this phone is. Has anyone been keeping up and knows how much a gold Apple Watch will cost? Anyone know? Starts at 10,000. I'm like, I don't care how wonderfully golden that watch is. I'm not buying it. That's ridiculous. Okay. Now, that's me. Maybe if I went to the city and went into like a legal office, someone who's earning 7 figures a year, something like that, they might be like, yeah, I could blow off 10,000 on that, no big deal. So the point is, and this is why it's individual, right? Everyone's going to have different numbers for these questions. That's actually really, really important. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes now. I actually want you to think about it rather than just give the first response that comes to mind. I want you to think about it, 4 numbers, and submit an answer. Okay? We're going to use these numbers, so think really hard about it, okay? 5 minutes.